Hello,
Hello.
and welcome to Planet Marzipan, the Fish and Marillion podcast. I'm Mezza, and here's my mate,
Craig Houston.
Hello and welcome to Planet Marzipan. I am Mezza and I am here with my good friend
Craig.
And we have a very different episode for you this week.
It's
24 hours in Leicester.
Yes, and it's actually put together like a Marillion song with duct tape, scissors, and sticky back plastic.
It's a cut and paste job this week, so apologies for the different sound levels that you'll hear in this episode. So we're going to start off with, I think it's me in the car, but I won't spoil it. I won't spoil that for you.
Yeah, you in the car, all by yourself.
Yes, all right, okay. And then straight after that, you will hear some audio from the StillMarillion soundcheck and an interview with the guys. And then when you've heard that, we'll come back and a few of us that were at the weekend and one person that wasn't, i.e. Craig, will talk about the weekend just gone.
Right, let's put this thing to bed. Run the tape.
Yeah, roll VT.
Right, so the first bit of audio that we've got is actually from the Friday night, and it's the roving reporter Andrew Barnsley Wood.
At the Splintering Heart gig at the Musician.
Hello listeners, you join us here from the Ale Wagon in Leicester. It's early on Friday night and I've managed to bump into some travellers who've come all the way from Suffolk. I'm sure they're going to introduce themselves. Here they come, nice and quick. Hello, it's Dave here.
It's Gordy's Paul. It's Mick from Suffolk.
It's Kelly from Bolton.
It's Kev from Mexborough. And it's me. Oh, sorry, it's Andy as well from 12 miles up the road. So we're all looking forward to tonight's extravaganza.
Which we're missing because it's already started.
Apparently we're late already.
I'm the man.
You join us here now at the Musician. It's 39 minutes past 8.
We're waiting for Splintering Heart to come on.
There's a gentleman stood to my right. This is, please say hello, Mr. Wayfarer.
I'm actually on his left, but hello everybody out there in Marillion land.
Anyway, everyone's waiting. It sounds a bit like the Crucible. Everyone's waiting for the 2 stars to come. Oh no, that is the Crucible. We're at the Musician.
We're not at the darts.
We're not at the darts. We're at the Musician. I think they're coming on, and the secret word on the street is, don't tell anybody. They're going to do the whole album tonight. They're doing Happiness is the Road. Goodbye. Anyway, you join us here at the Musician Friday night. You're missing out, everybody. Mr. Wayfarer's got something to say about Splintering Heart, the tribute band.
Yeah, Splintering Heart did a pretty good job tonight of covering a lot of Steve Hogarth era material and chucking in a couple of Fish era tracks. Quite frankly, by the time the Fish era tracks, my apologies, had turned up, we were pretty much looking to hear mostly H era. So kudos to Splintering Heart. They gave it all. They did a pretty good job. The audience loved them, and that's the main thing. That's exactly what you want.
Meanwhile, I'm ordering a chicken kebab, chips, and normally we get a roast potato on the bar. We shall see.
And now, the start of John's little road trip down to Leicester, minus me.
Hi, it's Saturday the 4th of May. It's just after 8 o'clock in the morning, so it's 2024. And I had planned to go and see StillMarillion's doubleheader in Leicester with Craig, but due to work commitments, he's not able to make it. So I'm about to head down to Leicester from York. I hope to see some of the usual suspects and enjoy a couple of gigs. And I think Craig may appear at some point later in this episode. Okay, it's Saturday, 12 noon. I'm in the venue, as you could probably hear. StillMarillion are sound checking at the moment. Stood with Mr. Barton, who's currently setting up his merchandise. Say hello to the listeners, Mike.
Good day, listeners.
Oh, very deep voice, that, isn't it? Very deep voice. So, hoping to speak to the band if they manage to get a sound check before the doors. Keep listening. Take care.
Everyone is only everyone else. Everybody's got to know. Everybody lives and loves and laughs and cries and eats and sleeps and grows and dies. Tell me you're good enough, Joe. Yeah, we're good. I've got 2 delays that I'm using for you. Feels the same inside the world.
Okay, so we're here with Mark Mitchell.
Hello.
In the backstage area, the salubrious backstage area of the Y Theatre.
It's one of a bit of backstage.
It's all right, isn't it? It's very nice. Very nice leather couch.
There's a leather sofa, there's a microwave, there's
a
hanger, there's a big mirror.
There's a washer. If you want one, yeah.
We'll not use that.
And I'm here with my good friend Mark Owens as well. But Mark, looking forward to today's 2 gigs. So it's currently just before doors for the lunchtime gig.
5 minutes, yeah.
How did this come about, doing the 2 gigs in one day?
I think we love as obviously we're a Fish Era Brilliant tribute. That's we started off with. We always have been. We always will be. But as a band, we do love particularly the earlier gigs here when the season's end, holidays and that kind of material. So it's nice to play some of that, and occasionally we do throw some things in a gig. So it's maybe over one or 2 songs, and it's hard to find the spot. And some people don't like it, some people do. That's we'll not go into that controversial topic, but we enjoy playing it as a band. But we recognise that we can't go to our normal gigging circuit, turn up at a rock venue and play that kind of material without it being a special advertised event.
Yeah.
So we've done it in the Half Minute Putney, we've done it in Glasgow, now here, and it allows us to kind of play that stuff, to get away with playing it. If you understand what I mean, to be able to play it, because it's great stuff to play as a guitar player. It's some of the best. Seasons End to Holidays Eden, Brave, some of Steve's, my favourite one.
Cracking.
Absolutely. I'm looking at setlists and I'm going, yeah, big solo, big solo. So it gives us the opportunity to play it. So it's looking for us. So for me, it's about the events and about the shows. How can we do this? How can we put it on? And obviously the Y Theatre we always do with the conventions.
Yeah.
We know it's a great venue. We know it would probably work. And then obviously the year without conventions, there was no attempt to make this anything other than just a gig that we're playing. But we know that the theatre books afternoon shows, so I approached them and asked if they'd be interested in putting on an afternoon and an evening show, and they were quite happy to do it. So it gives people the opportunity. You don't have to come to an afternoon, you don't have to come to the evening. They can pick one up, or they can pick both. Thankfully, most people pick both.
We've just been in town. I mean, I will mention there was another tribute band on last night in Leicester, wasn't there? So some of our friends went to see that as well. So they're making a weekend of it.
I would have been along if we weren't there. If we were down in town, I would have went along to see Rich and the other boys. I never managed to catch them.
No.
So
is it a lot of work for you then to put the H in the Fish Era set, or the Fish solo set together?
Yeah.
So when did you start pulling the set?
Last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I like the glasses. Yeah.
Mike Barton's just joined us, and he has some nice people in a room with Mr. H glasses that he's just distributing.
Who has sat on this very chair, of course. Last year when we
was that last year?
Not just last year. Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot of work to put in. I mean, it's the same with Marillion. We're doing conventions, doing 3 shows. It's 6 hours worth of music. It's a lot of work. We are doing 4 hours worth of music today, and the best we're all on like Marillion. This is hobby. This is our enjoyment. This is what keeps us sane, because we obviously all work for a living.
But you're even, especially in Europe, you're doing some much bigger places now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Germany, you're doing some big places.
There's a good appetite for it in
So,
Germany.
Mark, do you find that now you've expanded or spread your wings a bit to the H-Euro stuff, you're getting more and more audience in, or?
I think it depends on the show and different gig. I think there's generally a ceiling for what people come along to see this. Some people wouldn't go and see a tribute at all. They just maybe don't think. For me, it's not a tribute. It's just I can feel like a tribute.
Some people travel.
Some people travel. But a lot of people travel for gigs. And we're always amazed sometimes at where people travel from, particularly in Edinburgh. When we put a show in Edinburgh, and I always put the tickets on myself on sale through We Got Tickets, and you can see where everybody's came from. And you look,
it's a great venue, though. I mean, this is a nice venue, but the Edinburgh venue is great as well, isn't it?
What we have found is that people, the natural tribute the natural thing for tribute bands of this size is to go down the rock circuit venue.
Yeah.
But what we found is that the kind of audience demographic for Marillion like to go to a nice venue as well. They like to go somewhere where it's...
We're all of a certain age now, that's what it is.
Comfy seats and a bit posh.
Your classic, your dark clubs, with the sticky floors. And
we still love them.
We still love a great rock gig, that's the thing, and a great thing like that. But this is a nice venue. Voodoo Room's a nice venue. Some of the European ones are nice venues. People do like to travel to them. So I think, audience-wise, it gives us an extra. I think there's people we'll see coming along to the seasons. The individual we're throwing the fish stuff in this time as well in Leicester, and it's been quite difficult to get the set to look and say we want to make sure it flows okay, and it's not. That's quite a challenge to make sure that it's not. You can play fish, or song seasons and song fish at Wood. So we'll try to kind of maybe get a couple of segments in.
Is it a joint effort? Do any of you? The Jakubski just joined.
All the hard work is done by me.
Yeah, obviously. All of it. I'm glad I said that just before you said that.
I can exclusively reveal that all the hard work is indeed done by Mark.
I do all the booking. And
yes. What set list wise? Is it a real committee, or have you guys got more say in it?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay. There's no one in here to argue with you. You're all right.
I think sometimes it's everybody can have an opinion on what goes on, but sometimes you need direction, just as like anything in anywhere it's working.
Yeah.
You need somebody to be able to say.
Everybody can't be driving a bus at the same time.
No, we end up off the road. So if somebody particularly says, "Oh, I quite like to," can suggest a song. Absolutely, we'll probably don't rule anything out, in terms of what we're playing. But when it comes to set list running, it's a particular thing for. There's maybe things where it might suit to have things in an order for Martin vocally, or even for me guitar wise, or changes and things like that. So we'll sit down and go over it. But
hello.
It's quite a difficult thing writing sets. I think people think sets just get plopped together and they just write a collection of songs down, but it's not. Actually, it takes it's quite often we'll start a year with the set that we've written, and throughout the year it'll soul them off, and by probably about this time of year, when we do a set for whatever year it is, it will become by about this time quite set, because we know that things work and then we'll do the same again. We're quite lucky that for the last maybe 10 years, our first 2 gigs of the year have been in Derby at Flower Pot and the Vic and Swindon, both again very much venues in the circuit, but great little rock music venues, and we always do our first sets there. And it's a great tryout because they're great crowds and they really appreciate it. But sometimes you play things and you realise that doesn't actually work there. So we either sometimes we drop things or bring something in, but we just move it around. And sometimes a song that doesn't work at one position in the set, you just move it either late in the set or early in the set and it works. And it can be the same set, but it just depends where a script's a fine example of that. Script is a song that actually works earlier on in the set. I was
going to say for Martin, presumably it needs to be earlier on, does it not?
It's easier to sing earlier.
Yeah.
Because it is all those little falsetto pinch notes.
I wouldn't think it works because I'm traditional. I'm a rocker. That's what I'm at. And I've always been that way. Load all the front of the set.
Big bang.
All the big boom, first 4 numbers, blood and thunder.
beat them into submission. Yeah.
That's always been my thing, and like to say when we play mate in Scotland, and invariably by the time you've done the first 4 numbers, you're already
flagging.
I was going to use the term blowing out my arse, but we're being recorded.
No, you can go for it.
No, it's alright, you're fine to say.
Mine's heard the pod. This isn't Channel 4, you alright?
You end up with four songs and you're blowing the load, so to speak. But it can be a bit more even paced, it needs to be a wee bit more. So the sets is a challenge to actually, right? Keep continuing. It's a challenge actually to continue doing the sets and keep them fresh, because obviously mainly we do 4 albums with the first.
Yes.
And that's why we sometimes throw in other wee things, but it can be a wee bit cheeky in some of the things we've thrown in. We've tried a couple of things, and we're not. We literally won't rule anything out. We'll try it because it's difficult to. 15 years we've been doing it, and for us, we're keeping playing the stuff we play because we love it.
Yes.
Because we enjoy playing it, and I think you would if you were just doing it and playing 4 albums over and over again.
You've got to mix it up, haven't you? You've got to mix it up.
Talked about it before about longevity.
Yeah.
To have longevity, you have to change things so that people don't get into the habit of saying, I saw those guys last year and I know exactly what I'm going to get this year.
Yeah.
So you want them to go away and go, that was great and I didn't expect that or that to happen. And you hope that's the thing that next year they'll say, well, I'm going to go back and see what they play. I'm going to go and see what they play this time round.
Well, just picking up on what Mark was saying there, you do, in the UK, you've got certain venues that you do at certain times. You probably do them annually, don't you? You've got, Derby's beginning of the year, Clooney's August time, so you're kind of building an audience that way as well, aren't you? That this time next year, you'll be back in town, all being well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that works for a lot of venues as well, where people get into the habit of knowing, like say, Clooney's a good example. They know August, it'll be August, that's when the gig will be.
Well, you see the audience is building, you can see, after year.
In Derby, we've sold out Derby in the end of January or the start of February.
Every time we played.
Apart from the first time, every time we played. And but rather than say move to a bigger venue, we like to turn up to a flower pot. The purpose is a great wee venue. And the thing is, see, we all know what January is like. We sit there in January and it's dark and everybody's skin, and then very years ago you just wanted to end the month. And then genuinely sit there in the middle of January, we don't really do what's going, and can't wait because I know that either the end of January, start of February, first main weekend, we've got the flower pot coming up. And what a start to the year, and generally, you're sitting there in January, you think, I can't wait for that. But rather than go to another, say, everyone likes to use the term outgrowing the flower pot, but we sell it every time. Somebody could say, well, maybe you could go something bigger, but no. Why? Because the venue treats us well.
Yeah.
It's a lovely venue, it's a great atmosphere, it's never let us down.
And I bet you're selling out sooner because fans will know they've got to get the backside into gear and get the ticket.
Derby gig sold out really quick.
I think that's down to 3 or 4 weeks to get us to go there. Which is great.
Which is nice when that happens.
That's great. There's nothing better turning up to a venue and that it's...
We're very venue loyal as well.
We
are very venue loyal.
I think if you find somewhere you like, this is a great example here in the Y Theatre. It's a lovely venue. And you've been coming here for a good few years.
Love coming here to play. Staff are really helpful. There's, everything's geared towards you actually having a good experience, which is not the case at every venue. It's really not. It's really not. And some venues are much better at it than others.
Yeah, especially in the UK, on the continent, it's a different.
They all do it properly.
Yeah,
they all do it properly. All in Germany and.
You feel welcome, and there's always people there to tell you. Sometimes you turn up at UK venues and you stand outside in a cold, rainy November, chapping on the door, trying to get somebody to answer the door, and they open the door, and we're the band here, and they just open the door and
walk in.
Whereas in certainly Germany and Holland, we do a few shows, there's a different attitude towards it, and I think that's why we've got more successful venues. There is, to be fair, in Germany and Holland, there's a lot of more financial assistance, I think, from government and things, a lot of culture centres and things. Whereas in
small venues are supported over there.
We don't support any.
Could get into that whole debate about the the Co-op Live thing and what the general manager said, but we won't do that.
Yeah, no.
Won't do
Well,
that.
they a whole podcast on his own.
Could do, yeah. Could do.
I think people need to start putting their money where their mouth is as well. You know, I mean, there's a lot of large promoting agencies and large venues could easily help fund small venues.
Definitely.
And small venues are, without doubt, are feeder venues. Also, with regards to the tribute bands, I read actually a couple of comments. Like, a lot of musicians are quite snobby towards tribute bands, you know, and they seem to assume that you know, musicians in tribute bands have never played in the original band themselves. We've all played in bands for years. We've all done original projects. We've all done things. We do this because we love it. That's it. We don't do it. We certainly don't do it.
It shows.
For money. Yeah, I mean, we generally do. I don't think we'd be doing it 15 years down the line if we didn't.
Absolutely not. It's a passion project.
But with regards to tribute bands for smaller venues, a lot of smaller acts complain about tribute bands. Say, you can't book because tribute bands are in. But the reality is, it's market forces, and a tribute band generally will fill a venue, a smaller venue.
People will pay and go. That's the thing. People buy the tickets, won't they?
A lot of these smaller venues wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the tribute bands keeping them afloat now.
That's why they have tributes in on Fridays and Saturdays, because they need to make money. You can't take a chance on an original band that might pull 30 people.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, a lot of these small venues are working at very, very tight margins.
Yeah.
You know.
What does the 2 gigs today? So 2 sets in a day is pretty. It's a lot of work.
Come back to us later on.
All right.
That's been
part 2.
That's been 10 o'clock this evening.
Okay. All right.
It's hard. We need to pace yourself, obviously, and you know. Again, not go out absolute blind thunder, and remember that you've got a set in the evening to play as well. But it's challenging, but it's good challenging. I think the thing with doing the season's end fish stuff and we're doing some holidays and eating stuff as well, and in the afternoon, that's the more challenging musically set to play.
Yeah.
It's not that the fishier stuff isn't, but obviously the band was younger at the time. The writing has evolved, so when it came to that, there's more. There probably is more complexity and
well, it's probably the older stuff's probably in your muscle memory because you're playing it more often.
Well, we've been doing it for 15 years, so at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You think that, John?
Some of the band,
You say that, but
Oh, okay. All right.
some have regressed, I think.
Whoa.
But no, you go out there, and to me, it's one of these things. I think we've said it before. It's like, you know, it's
the afternoon's the examination.
yeah.
The evening. Once we play this afternoon show tonight, I know I'll just be able to enjoy tonight.
Yes.
Tonight for me, it's just exactly that. I think it's the same for everybody coming. It's familiarity. This is what we do. It's like absolute classic fish set. There's no
plenty of big guns in there.
No messing about with it. It's just, you know, wall to wall classics, and we all enjoy playing it. And again, everybody will. It's not a heavy listening. It's just.
Yeah.
So it's having a few beers and singing along, and that at the end of the day is what any tribute band is about. It's coming along, having a few beers, meeting up with like-minded people, and singing along and enjoying yourself. It's really, I don't think about anything other than that. You know.
Well, look, I won't keep you any longer, but no sound detected. That's not a good sign, is it? Who knows what's happening there?
Just make up.
Thanks for arranging today. And thanks for chatting to us. Have a really good day, guys. There's a big social side to today, as you've seen. There's loads of people coming.
That's always in the back of your mind when you're arranging something like this as well. You think to yourself, what can we do? You know, that'll encourage it. And I think actually the majority of people that come here today, it's not local.
Yeah,
you know, it's mostly people
travelling a distance. Absolutely.
It's not a local crowd, whereas we played the musician before and stuff like that. The local crowd. This is much more people that are coming, which is great. Because
you're worth travelling for, guys.
Thank you very much. And the thing is as well, and this is as genuine as possible, because we've been doing it so long, Martin's been doing it for far too long.
Oh!
Damn you!
What a number on it, man. How long have you been doing it?
Revenge rip-off.
How long have you been singing this stuff?
Yeah.
23 years. Across 2 different bands.
Rest my case.
What, 10? Age 10?
10 stone. I just wasn't 10 stone when I started out.
As I said to the guys, there's a guys, we're not recording so you can see it, but there's some guys that are maybe not as the more natural performers in the band. They're not as confident, and they do sometimes can get a wee bit like, it's a lot of music to learn. It's a lot. But what I said, just remember, you're plenty of friends out there. Yeah, you might not be best friends with people, but just people come along here that have seen you.
They love this, and they love what you're doing with it. Yeah, they love the fact, you know, you're great guys. If you meet you in the venue or in a pub before or after a gig, you spend time, you chat to people.
I spoke to you about that before. To me, that's not an act. That's just
No,
being who you are.
it doesn't come across that way.
It's just being who
They'd
you are.
find you out if that was an act.
Exactly. You can find out very, very
It's like
quickly.
people who tell lies. What's the fucking point? Because they will twig it and they will.
Absolutely.
You know?
It's more a case, when I go out and I look out and I see, loads of people that I know, and I know right away, you think, all these people are here because they want you to have a good gig.
Yeah.
There's nobody standing there going, I hope they make an arse of this, or I hope, I hope he trips up over that, but everybody's there thinking, we're here because we really like this music and we're here to have a good time. And that's
it's the same mindset for everybody, though, isn't it? Why do we come here?
I think so, and I think we've actually said before, even years ago, and especially when we started doing the seasons, we get a lot of flack online. When the very time first time we played a lot of the season and stuff was we done the Edinburgh weekend, and we get a lot of flack online for that. A lot of flack, I feel.
At the time,
A lot. I got a few actually quite nasty messages,
I thought. I've come up to one of the Edinburgh weekends, and it's a cracking atmosphere. It really is. The venue's great.
But I think the decision from us at that time was you know what, we don't want people like that gigs anyway.
No.
Not to turn around and say, we better not do that in case we offend anybody or that. Obviously on stage we like to have a laugh as well.
Play what you want.
Somebody accused us one time in the Robin.
This is your area, mate. You just kick us out. We'll just come.
We played the Robin gig one time and somebody accused us of being too happy on stage.
Too happy?
Yeah. That's the subject. That's the subject.
We'll get out of the way, guys.
And I think we've always been able to know what you don't like what we, because we're not in it for a certain thing. Me and Barton have always said that we kind of play to. When we started off doing it, we said, what? See if you get 5 or 6 quality gigs a year, and that could be a wee venue to 100 people. We would still be doing it.
I've always said that I'd be doing it whether I was doing it to 50 people or or whatever it may be.
Thankfully, you're doing it to quite a few more.
Absolutely, and that's the beautiful thing about it is that it's grown.
That's what you've built.
Way beyond expectation, because at the end of the day, what we do is very niche.
Most toys as well.
Good afternoon, evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Geordie Allenson, just speaking to John here, seeing StillMarillion. Fantastic afternoon. So, I've got the Fear t-shirt on, so my comment to John was, shit album, great t-shirt. That's it.
Unless, of course, you know better.
Good evening, you're joining us here for the world famous Fish and Marillion podcast, Planet Marzipan, with John Mezza Merrick, Craig Gooston, who's not here, Faye Gooston's not here, Foxy, James Greenwood's here, Rebecca Arthur stopped talking for 1 second, unbelievable. I've got Julie Griffiths here, I've got Vote Fawcett here, I've got Vicky, I've got, Felicity Prick's here. I've got Mark here. I hope this is still recording. Anyway, we've had a fun... Have I missed you, Foxy? I'm Foxy. Anyway, it's been a fantastic night. The band came on, they played the whole of Disintegration. And then a few of their later hits from, is it Staring at the Sea, innit? Staring at the Sea album. Otherwise, it's been special. I can't use the word epic. I've been pulled up on saying that now. So from now on, so we've had a fantastic weekend, everybody. Also, StillMarillion's been in town, everybody. And if I'm not mistaken, they've done 5 hours of music. They played the whole of Brave, so you missed out there, Colin Smith. And also, unbelievably, they played the second half of Happiness is the Road. Everybody loved it. See you later. Nothing more to add. Stay alive.
Well, picking up from where we've just left off, welcome to 24 Hours in Leicester. And we have a plethora of people who were in Leicester and one person who wasn't. So we'll start with the person that wasn't. Yes. Welcome, Craig.
Yes, sorry guys, I couldn't make it, but there's serious shenanigans going on, so...
We know why, but you were missed. And then we've got returning guests in Barnsley Wood.
Hello.
And where are you today?
I'm out of the country again, guys. I'm in a place called Culver City, which is in Los Angeles.
Tax reasons again, Barnes, yeah?
some tax in, more like.
We have Nathan Page joining us again.
Hello.
Hello.
Costa del Nottingham, I take it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, but Birmingham. I've lived in Birmingham for the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For tax reasons, I think.
Tax reasons, yeah. On the run.
He hasn't ran far.
We have Mark Owens rejoining us.
Hello.
Hello, Mark. And we have, for the first time on Planet Marzipan, Vicky Dudman.
Hello.
Hello.
From sunny Essex.
From sunny Essex, yeah. So we're global again. We're global. But we're going to talk about Leicester. So we're recording on Tuesday the 7th of May after the weekend that was in Leicester, where Splintering Heart played at the Musician on the Friday night, and then StillMarillion did 2 gigs at the Y Theatre on the Saturday. But before we do that, because we've got some new people on the podcast, we're going to ask them how they first heard about Marillion and Fish. I'm going to start with Mr. Owens, if that's all right.
When he was on first time, it was on our On the Road episode, so he didn't get a chance to do the history one. So now you've got your time, mate.
Ooh, here we go. Okay, so
I'll get comfy. I'll get me pillows.
14 years old, must have been just after Script was released, and he was into computers and daft stuff. And a mate of mine who was into computers and prog, he was about 17, just said, he dropped me the EMI cassette and said, give me back in a week and tell me what you think. And I just, when he went, I chucked it on, and I gotta say this is true. At the end of the first line, so here I am once more in the playground of the broken hearts, I just knew I was going to like this band. And that's basically where it started for me. So that was it 83? Probably?
Yeah. When did you first see them live?
February 84, Fugazi tour.
All right.
So, and again, same mate, and my next door neighbour who was a drummer. You know you got a drummer living next door in a terraced house in Wales, I can tell you that.
He was popular with it.
And he said, come on, they're playing St David's Hall. Come on down. And I was going, I don't know, yeah, come on. It was a £5 ticket. And we went down and sat in some seats sort of up to the one side. But once the gig got going, we thought it was a nice spot down there. So we moved and we stood up against like the side wall, and I found, it was one of the best gigs I've ever been to. Absolutely amazing. You know, so seeing the band that you've just got into and on our live for the first time it just blew me away, and that was it then. It was off and running then, and you know.
All downhill from there. Really.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, 40,
with me, yeah.
40 years later, still, yeah.
Yeah. It's, do you know, same year. I was like, well, no, 82. No, I'd been to another gig the year before, but I can't say.
You can mention it, mate. We've already talked about you being at it on this podcast. Don't mention it.
I was at Six of the Best.
Which is
the Genesis Peter Gabriel reunion in Milton Keynes.
And you got
I got slightly bloody wet, yeah, and tired and whatnot. But again, another amazing moment, and that's basically down to my next door neighbour and a friend. That's how I got into all the music I've got into, plus you lot as well. Strangely enough, you know.
Apologies for that.
No worries, mate. I would have never have, Frost, Tiny Fish, all that kind of stuff. Trees, Stephen Wilson, all that kind of crazy stuff, and yeah, absolutely amazing. So that's how I bumped into him.
Fantastic. Vicky, how did you first hear about the band?
Well, if you've heard one of the 100 episodes that you did on the Brave album, my sister Felicity was a guest on one of those. So our origin story is pretty much the same. I just have a slightly different perspective, I suppose. It's funny you mentioned the Six of the Best gigs, actually, because my dad was there. He was very much a prog lad, and he was the one who was a Marillion fan right from the beginning.
Yeah,
and so
you must have been a very young dad, obviously.
Yeah. Teenage dad, yeah.
We grew up with Marillion music in the house. And then Felicity recalls we had a babysitter who lives across the road who was her main sort of influence, I suppose. And when she was telling that story, I was thinking, I don't really remember Emma being that much of an influence in terms of Marillion. I definitely remember she was the influence with us getting interested in Def Leppard.
Right.
But yeah, I was thinking, why don't I remember that? And I think it's just being the younger sibling. Felicity was my influence, really, and has carried me through pretty much throughout the years. You know, I would have lost touch probably in my sort of late teens, early 20s, if it hadn't been for Felicity. So yeah, I have her to thank for that.
You could have been lost to like Westlife and Take That and all that kind of stuff, couldn't you?
Britpop was definitely yeah.
Was it? Okay, yeah. So where did you first see them live then?
So it was Cambridge Corn Exchange on the Brave tour.
That's a great place to start, isn't it? Brave, wow.
So we saw, Brave tour and the Afraid of Sunlight tour, and then we kind of drifted away a bit and then came back some Anorak time. But yeah.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Okay. Well, we're not going to talk about them, are we now? We're going to talk about some people who play their music, but aren't them. So last weekend, as I've already said, Splintering Heart played at the Musician, and two of the people on the pod were at the gig. Barnsley and Vicky were at the gig. So how was the Splintering Heart gig at the Musician?
Well, this is my recollection of it from what I can remember. First of all, I very much enjoyed it, and it was great to hear sort of the new Marillion songs, to be honest with you, covered by someone else. And I guess, first of all, the set list was great. I think in some ways it was like a build-up to, in some ways, what could have been said as the main event, which is the Saturday. And there's a big leaping, without taking anything away from Splintering Heart, who are a new band. There's a big leap from where the level they're at, I think we can all agree, to the level that StillMarillion are at. So I don't think that's a slur on their character or anything like that. I think it's just a saying that, there's a big step up, and you can tell which band's been together for 15 years and which band's been together for a year, let's say.
Yeah.
So, and it was a smaller venue and a smaller crowd, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, by and large.
Can you remember what they played at all?
Oh, now you're asking. Well, I can definitely remember they played Splintering Heart, and then they played Power.
They played the Crow and the Nightingale, which
the Crow and the Nightingale, which I've got to say was up there. No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to.
We have an audio clip of you talking about it, Barnes, which we could use.
Yeah. Well, maybe what I should have said as I rolled out of the thing is they did a very good rendition of it, surprisingly good rendition of it. I think that's probably a better way to say it.
Yeah.
They played a whole lot of stuff, a couple of Fish Era songs, which in the nicest way, I don't think it needed. I think they should have stuck to their guns and just play the hate stuff, but it didn't detract. That was good. Trying to remember what else they played, Vix. Can you remember? Did they play Great Escape? I've got a feeling they did. But I can't remember. I literally can't remember. You're probably able to look at most of what they played from that thing afterwards, actually, when I wrote a little report.
Okay, but it was a good night and a good turnout.
It was a good night and a good turnout, and I'd recommend seeing them. They're a smaller band, let's say it is, and it's but they're sort of Rich, the lead singer's clearly very good. We've seen him many times. Also, the drummer was the drummer from Norway, from Misplaced Neighborhood, tribute band. So he was good.
I thought the guitarist was very good, actually.
The guitarist was very good, I was thinking that,
You've only left the keyboard and the bass player out then, were they all right?
Well, that sounds like a trap.
I couldn't see the bass player at all from where I was sitting, but...
I will say this, that the keyboard player, 90% of the time was very, very good, but there was a 10% of the time when I think he got someone else's keyboard. So, and can I say that? It's maybe you hit the wrong note.
These comments got anything to do with the fact you're out the country right now.
Well, because say it as it is, I think it got the wrong presets on or something like that for a couple of songs. I think that's fair to say, particularly early on. So it got sorted out throughout the gig. So I think that's fair judgment. I think, isn't it?
Yeah, they definitely settled into it as it went along. And they got.
That's the words I would have chosen, Vicky.
So have they done many gigs then?
I don't think they've done that many, Mark. Probably done, half a dozen, something like that.
I think you can forgive them for that, can you?
I think
it's live. It's live.
Well, considering some of the keyboard players that Fish has had over the years, I would not complain about them having a couple of issues on the keyboard.
And also some of them have been awful. Also,
I have actually got their set list is actually on Setlist FM. From that gig band, so
excellent.
They played, according to Setlist FM, Splintering Heart, Power, The Party, Cover My
The Party,
Eyes.
that was good. Yeah.
White
Paper.
Paper.
Cover My Eyes. That White Paper was good.
Oh, I don't like white paper, so that didn't go down well with me.
Anyway, it's been lovely talking to you, Vicky. Incommunicado.
Yeah.
This
good.
Town. Rake's Progress.
This Town was very good,
Sugar Mice. Afraid of Sunlight.
Afraid of Sunlight was good. Crow and Nightingale, better than the real thing. Nearly.
Fantastic Place.
Yeah, good. That was good.
And Neverland. And then they encored with Garden Party.
Yep, that's how I remembered it.
Sounds like a pretty good set.
That's what you just said, isn't it? Yeah, exactly what you've just said. Well, look, we wish them all the best. And if they're around near you, highly recommended. We shall certainly be seeing them if they come a bit further north. Craig, won't we?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. But I think, Barnes, you visited the best kebab shop in the world on
I did.
Friday night.
It was absolutely fantastic. I went there Friday and Saturday night. Yeah, excellent. Woke up next to the kebab on Saturday morning and polished it up for breakfast.
Oh, dear.
Rich Neal brought his down into reception for somebody. That was lovely, yeah. Left it on the side there, yeah. Okay, on to the main event of the weekend then. Mark, Nath and myself arrived in Leicester separately Saturday lunchtime to see StillMarillion. As you may have already heard, Mark and I were privileged enough to go in and see a little bit of the sound check and interview Mark and Martin from the band. You should have heard that already. I'm looking at Craig, who does the editing.
Yep.
Already,
That's the plan.
That's the plan. Let's hope it works out this way. If it doesn't, this makes no sense at all. But we're going to talk about the gigs, starting with the dinner time gig, which was 12:30 doors, 1 o'clock kickoff. Is that right?
I think it was an hour later than that, wasn't it? I think it was 2 o'clock kickoff, wasn't it?
All right. Sorry, 1:30 doors. Yeah, I had to be there at 12:30. 1:30 doors, 2 o'clock kickoff.
You were in the sound check, man.
I was, yeah. So there were some lovely new T-shirts available. Mr. Barton was flogging some quality merch.
Yeah, very good stuff.
Of which I think you partook, Barnes, didn't you?
Yeah, I took a medium.
Yeah.
Did perfectly. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, I took a small. Just a bit snug, but yeah, it was all right.
I took a 3XL. Fitted absolutely brilliantly. They're bigger. They were a bit bigger than you'd expect, thankfully.
for the more ample man.
Oh, absolutely.
We need more women who want to buy the T-shirts so that he'll do some ladies' fit.
Yeah, there's no ladies' cuts at all, is there? No. Anyhow, that's one for Mr. Barton. The set list for Saturday. Should we go through the set list and talk about it as it happened? Started with the King of Sunset Town.
Yeah.
I thought it sounded fantastic. I think from the off, there were no gremlins or anything. They hit the mark from the off.
Interject and say that they started actually with May the 4th.
They did. Apologies. You
Darth Vader backdrop.
Go for it. Meant nothing to me.
Well, me neither. I'm not a fan. But
there was an intro tape. I'm looking at Mark.
Me? What are you looking at me for? Me, Nathan and Craig. But Craig
wasn't there.
He wasn't there. And he's a Star Trek man anyway.
What was the intro tape about?
It was obviously May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Darth Vader with his jester hat on. And, giving it all the old and all that. If that sounded a bit like Darth Vader, then great. If it didn't, I was choking on a cup of tea.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. It was a bit of a humour thing.
It was a bit of a laugh.
Yeah, and everybody sort of we're up for this now, and I was, and away we go.
And then they played the King of Sunset Town.
As an interjection, Mark, did you see what William Shatner put up on May the 4th?
Yes,
that was brilliant.
I read it. I've actually read that about 15-20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I thought that was fantastic.
Wishing all the Star Wars fans a happy May the 4th, and when they grow up, they're welcome to join Starfleet.
Did you see the other bit that he's put
Barton,
up?
say something. Say something, Barton.
Yeah, two things. I used to love Star Wars, and then I became 8 years old. But I think John. Let's get back to the real story. We're wittering on.
I was going to say these two are off there.
We could go
Sorry, I
miles.
started that now.
Yeah, apologies. Drag you back to the prog, to the dark side. King of Sunset Town. I thought it was a rather fantastic opening.
I think the whole thing was rather fantastic, John. I think it was all thriller, wasn't it, from start to finish? I know this is not how we're reviewing it.
Was it epic?
I'm not allowed to say them words anymore. You pulled me up and said I'm not allowed to say them anymore. I've used my quote.
I said we'll fine you every time you say it. That's what I said. And you've been a tight Yorkshireman, you're not going to say it now.
Correct.
No, it's great. I think Mark was loving all the solos as well. He was really sort of throwing himself into them.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It was a brilliant set list all round, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it segued from that straight into Big Wedge.
Yeah, which was equally brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was a really up-tempo start, I thought. At that point, the backdrops were working okay. The images on the back of the screen were all right, I think.
When they reminded Stuart to press the button.
He has got one or two other things to do, though, hasn't he?
Yeah. Well, Big Wedge for me was one of the highlights of the set, and John and I looked at each other and we just had these stupid grins because of it rocked. It was really up tempo. They were clearly really up for playing it, and it was just so much fun.
It was really good, and I have to say, comparing the afternoon to the evening's what they play all year, so they were much more relaxed in the evening, but they sounded amazing, but they were really sort of focusing on getting it right. Yeah. Not that they weren't at night, but they were really sort of having to sort of look at each other and follow the cues. But it sounded fantastic.
Yeah, I agree.
From that into the uninvited guest. No cricket.
I'm not a great fan of that. I'm not a great fan of that song. Can I say that on this podcast?
You can, yeah. You've been in the naughty corner with Vicky.
I've never really got that song, but anyway, they played it very well. But I've just never got it.
Never really got that song.
No, I would just skip it. It's a skipper, that one for me.
Oh, after 35 years, really?
Yeah.
I love that song. It's brilliant.
Contentious. Good version, though. Good version.
Yeah, very good.
And then we got a little bit of Baker Street, I think, didn't we?
Yeah, did we?
That was brilliant. Fair play.
Yeah.
The Stuart, the keyboard player, had this fantastic sax sample and gave us a rendition of Baker Street before they played Berlin.
And if you remember correctly, John,
it actually into the track, and he managed it. And it was
Yeah, he was challenged, wasn't he, at the end of the day by Martin? And it blended right in.
I thought it was brilliant. I thought Martin really...
That's become the definitive version from now on. I mentioned to him, we better get that every time now, Martin. We want Baker Street every time.
But I thought Martin really sort of... I mean, he was great all day, but really sort of threw himself into the Mad Dog Shaven Head section of that. Brilliant. Absolutely
It's
brilliant.
always been one of my favourite tracks. So,
I love it, yeah. Me too. Then into the seldom heard... Easter.
I think the crowd were very good.
I think they were. The crowd was singing, weren't they? And Mark nailed that solo, didn't he?
Yeah.
As he did all afternoon, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think he loves playing it as well. And from there, they went to title track of Season's End.
I mean, every track was great, wasn't it? It was just a really good afternoon, wasn't it? I know this is not how to review things, but it was just a really good afternoon, you know?
Getting towards being epic, I think.
Well, it definitely was. I find, how much did we say? 50p?
And then they played the This Town trilogy. So we saw them do that in a sound check, and I was absolutely
awesome. That was the sound
jaw to the floor. It was spot on, 100%. And again, it's one of my favourite. We've reviewed Hate Holidays, but it's one of my favourite H moments. The You Didn't Notice Me. And again, Martin was just on it with that. Absolutely on it.
What were you going to say there, Nathan?
I was literally just about to say, and Martin nailed the H moment at the end of 100 Nights. All those kind of cues that H hits, Martin was there, faultless.
Yeah. It's obvious that they're real fans of this music, isn't it? You know, they know it inside out. They know it inside out. It's brilliant.
Well, that's what I said to Mark in the interview bit. I said they don't try and sound. Martin doesn't try and be Fish or try and be H, but they try and get as close to the music and the vocal as possible because they love the songs.
He essentially gets the essence of it. You know, he's not mimicking it, but he gets the feel of the songs for both Fish here and H here. The stuff I've heard. You know, he's
Well, not only that, but also I think on things like Big Wedge, Berlin in the Mad Dog section, because Martin comes at things from maybe a slightly more rock angle than prog, it does give it a slightly different take on it than, you know, H or Fish respectively maybe would.
Yeah,
definitely.
We then got a bit of a light relief with Hooks in You. Hooks, Craig. Hooks in You. And then the real surprise of the set, I mean, we didn't know this because Martin had mentioned it before the gig, but I think it was a real left field choice, but it worked really, really well. They did Run Away from Brave.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was good, actually. Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
And I really would love them to sort of push a bit more into that direction and, you know, go further into the sort of catalogue. I mean, the season stuff is great, but
I think they will with time, but there's no rush. And I think Wildwood can still hear Marillion play it.
True,
I think it will certainly become something I feel I would need them to do once Marillion stops.
Now they've started to branch out into the H era stuff. I think they will pick off some of the classic tracks. Like I thought we were going to get Hard as Love. Hard as Love, they could smash out of the water. Yeah. You know, but
and then again, one of the standout tracks of the night. Martin did a little bit of an intro to this, being one of Fish's darkest lyrics, and they played a stunning version of Family Business.
This is
really the first time I've heard this live. Having seen Fish. Well, yeah, I've never seen Fish live at all. So, and this was always one of my favourite tracks from Vigil, which just because I think when I was only 10 when it came out, and a lot of his lyrics are very political, and I just went over my head. Whereas this, I could understand a little bit, and so I've always loved it.
This was actually the point where I started to think that maybe when Fish retires, they could almost go in the direction of more into Fish's back catalogue, because things like that, it's a standout live track, and it will be exceptional to hear them do some of the other songs that really work well live.
Yeah, I agree there, Nathan, as well. Yeah,
I think, which brings us nicely onto the next track, which was Cliche.
Probably less.
I'm just going to say it was epic, wasn't it? Let's just say it as it was.
Hey! £1, everyone.
It was so, wasn't it? It was all good. It was all
the
good.
Christmas fund is started.
We strummed it over ourselves because every track was really good. It was just a fantastic afternoon, I thought. I loved the set.
Cliche, to hear Mark doing the solos on Cliche, stunning. Just absolutely stunning. And then everybody left the stage except Stuart and Martin for a really intimate, stripped-down version of Gentleman's Excuse Me.
Yeah, which went really well as well, didn't it?
Yeah,
that was really
stunning
good.
track. I love that when he does that live.
Was it me, or could you hear a pin drop? Everyone was sort of really listening attentively, weren't they?
Yeah.
So I saw them do that for the first time probably about a year ago. I think they debuted it in Nuneaton. And every time I've seen them do it, it has been, you could hear a pin drop, and it has worked so well night after night, and it's still got the same effect.
It's a beautiful song. It's one of Fish's most beautiful songs. There is one other that grabs me as equally as this, and that's Fortunes of War. I love Fortunes of War. It just conjures up so much nostalgia and different things from when you were a kid. But yeah, Gentlemen's Excuse Me and Fortunes of War, just stunning.
And then they played something which I think we saw them debut, didn't we, Craig, in Stockton, Vigil.
Yeah.
We saw them in Stockton 2-3 months ago.
Yeah, it's a couple of months ago, which was absolutely brilliant.
It wasn't on the set list, but we were kind of daring them to go there. So they played it.
And they hadn't really rehearsed it properly,
They hadn't even rehearsed it.
And it was amazing, absolutely amazing.
But when they had rehearsed it, last weekend it was even better.
Core blamey.
Yeah.
And it was the end of the main set, but it was great. It was a really fantastic version.
Brought back lots of memories that I did of the first time seeing Fish solo.
Yeah, really good. And then he went off and came back to the Moles version, or the Moles arrangement of Splintering Heart.
I didn't know that.
Did
I
you
knew
not?
it was a different arrangement, but I didn't know it was called the Moles version.
Well, it's
I didn't know Moles had
the
played
Moles
it.
version because
Oh, yeah,
they
they did.
released a live version of it from Moles, but it's actually the way it used to start before Chris Neal got hold of it and put the electronic intro on it.
All right, every day's a school day.
There you go, Barnes. There you go. It's not just rubbish. This, there are some facts in amongst it.
Only very
one fact
occasionally.
every 20 episodes.
Yeah, I was going to say only very occasionally.
Yeah, that's it. Now we're done till episode 6. And finish with the Space, which we've seen him doing that venue before, but Martin doing the Space when he gets really up there for the end, doesn't he? And he's getting into sort of Bruce Dickinson type vocals where he's really rocking it out.
Yeah, brilliant, really good.
All in all, quite a nice afternoon's work, I think.
Yeah,
fantastic.
And that was a warm up, wasn't it?
Well, yeah. We then discovered a real ale pub. You want to talk about that, or is that one for another day?
No, go for it, Barnes. We had about 3 hours between the gigs. Where did you get to?
Well, we went to one place. You were there, Vix. It's really like a
not
craft
to start
real
with,
ale pub.
I went to Wetherspoons with the band and had lunch with
Oh,
them.
right. Yeah, we went to there and we just had a bit of craft beer and put the world to rights for 3 hours. Brilliant.
Well, you couldn't go anywhere else, mate. I had your bloody room key. Thanks for that, by the way.
We're not getting into that.
Thanks for that, mate. That was good of you. I haven't posted any of the photographs yet.
Oh, God.
I did promise I tidied your room.
Thank you very much.
Did we not? We went to Nando's, didn't we, Mark?
We did.
Yeah. Okay.
Was it
cheeky Nando's? It was very cheeky.
Some chicken.
Tell you what, this is
nice. This
is not coming out in the edit. This is staying in.
Oh yeah.
What Nando's?
No, they're just chapping on about this nonsense.
That's what the listeners know. They know what they're getting. It's not highbrow stuff. This is it.
Yeah, there's worse rubbish on that podcast, so we're fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, Star Wars. How is it? Oh no, not going there again.
Craig doesn't edit anything out anyway.
Back we went for 8 o'clock at night and for the Fish Era set. Now this is the set list the band have been playing, as Mark told us, since the beginning of the year. So by now it's fairly knocked into shape and they know what works and what doesn't. So starting with Slange.
Always a great opener. Just
Yeah,
gets you in the
really.
mood.
Yeah. And from there, straight into Assassin.
The 12-inch version.
Oh, I'll take your word for it, Nate.
It's one of the single edits anyway. There's no kind of Arabic drum intro. It's straight into the kind of opening verse. It's the 7-inch or the 12-inch. I can't remember which.
Okay.
I would imagine the 12-inch, because if it was a 7-inch, it'd be over 3 minutes. So.
And from there into Punch and Judy, because it is Fugazi at 40 primarily this set.
I didn't know that.
Well, it's meant to be, yeah.
No,
you do know.
No, it's good. I know there's lots of Fugazi on there, and it sounded great, but I didn't realise they were doing that on purpose. I thought it was coincidental.
Yeah, I think you'll find there's quite a few Marillion tribute bands doing Fugazi at 40 this year, but they're doing it. And from there, Martin got everybody singing with a lovely version of Script for a Jester's Tear.
Not as good as Script in a chip shop, but
I thought that's where you were going with your story at the beginning. When I first heard that first line, I knew I would be singing it in a chip shop 25 years ago.
I think that was Barnsley in Brighton the first time I ever met
him.
It
was Barnsley in Brighton. Yeah.
I think it's still on YouTube if you dig it out.
It is, yeah. The night of
the
the Sticky Willy, if I remember rightly.
Oh,
if you want to keep that one to yourselves.
Wow. Are you just throwing that out there? Is that it?
That's it. That's for people to ask people about when they see you at gigs.
What's that, John, about your Sticky Willy?
Who had the Sticky Willy?
I can't remember where
I
it
think
came
that's
from.
is that the code name for blowing up a condom on your head? Is that what a sticky willy is?
No, you did
No,
that.
there
We've
was
got
there was like
photos of that.
you know those sticky. Yeah, you did. Those sticky like things that you stick on the wall. You throw on the wall and they sort of tumble down the wall.
There was that as well.
Somebody threw it up on the ceiling and it stayed up there for ages.
Anyway, more quality Marillion discussion, listeners, as you can tell. Sorry, Vicky, we brought you on to this rubbish. Apologies. Mark, get back on track. Come on.
Okay.
Then, after script, we got 3 Boats Down from the Candy.
Now, this track always starts, and I always think, oh, I don't like this. And then the guitar solo comes in, and I'm like, yeah.
I'm exactly the same with that song. Like, the first 3 minutes or so, like that, I'm like, ugh. But when the guitar solo kicks in the end section, I love it. But yeah, I know exactly where it comes from with that.
It's not my favourite B-side, but I don't hate it either.
What is your favourite B-side, Nate, that they've never played?
Yeah, Charting the Single.
You didn't shout for it.
You did.
There was definitely sound coming from your direction.
It's from your direction, Nick, wasn't it?
It very much was. Right behind me.
Did they not play it at the last convention?
So
I believe they'd got it rehearsed.
They had, yeah, but
Martin didn't sing it, but they played it when someone else sang it. Yeah.
Did they? Right, okay.
Mm.
I wasn't there for similar reasons to Martin, but yeah.
My answer to that should have been, how can it hurt? What B-side was my favourite B-side they've not played? They should play. How can it hurt?
Well, we'll just edit it. You want to make it that?
It'd be good. I think they do a really good job of it because they're slightly rockier. I think they do a really good job of it.
Didn't they do it? Didn't Marillion do it was it on the holidays in Zealand thing?
How can it hurt?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they did it in 2022. They did it as part of the Rocky Sunday set, as it was in Poland, and it segged into some
second or third track in, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Have I done a mental block and blocked it out?
Well, you should do. So you should. Absolute waste. Criminal. Not epic at all, Barnes. Not epic. Anyway, back to the programme. After 3 Boats Down from the Candy, Warm Wet Circles.
Brilliant.
Awesome. Not into That Time of the Night, but into Misplaced Childhood Side 2.
Side 2, yeah, that's right.
What a segue that is.
Yeah. And it worked well, didn't it? The segue worked well, didn't it?
It's good. I think when you first time you hear it, you think, what? But it does work really well, yeah. It does work really well.
On paper, it shouldn't work, but it does, yeah.
If you remember rightly, Barnes, I think we were taking the time out in the bar then, just cooling down a bit and drinking iced water and singing along to the songs anyway.
I can't remember ever drinking ice water. That must have been
you might not have, but that was me. I was just...
He's got a reputation to uphold here, Mark. Come on.
I know.
Next up was Jigsaw.
Oh, I love Jigsaw. Just epic. Yeah, absolutely epic.
You're allowed to say.
I'm going to feel it now.
You can say epic. There's
another
not
pound in the pot.
I think Martin does a great job on Jigsaw. It's not something that Fish has been able to sing for a long time.
No.
Fish has attempted it.
Yeah. That's all you can say, really, isn't it? Yeah. Into next track, Emerald Eyes.
Great track.
It's not one of your favourites, though, John, is it?
It's all right. I like the intro. It's all right.
I like it. It's really wordy, isn't it? I sort of like that for some reason. It's really wordy and just a weird song in some ways, but I think it works really well.
Yeah. Not bad for a track that was going to be a B-side.
Yeah.
Only put on the album at the last minute, Barnes. There's another fact for you.
I didn't know that. This is amazing.
I know. Every day's a school day on here. Then they played the hits. Kaylee, Lavender, Blue Angel, Heart of Lothian.
Yeah, I got my big break for Kaylee. So.
Was everybody hoarse by the end of it?
I think it was quite a bit of dancing and singing going on. I could see the second row all seemed to have their arms around each other, didn't they? Vicky, you were down there.
Well, no, I came out for Kaylee. I went to the loo.
Oh. What? Okay. On then to Incubus.
Oh, again, one of my favourites.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing track.
I think they
Needs two
always play
guitars,
them.
though,
I mean,
doesn't
it's
it,
one of
really?
them. It's one of them songs they always play 'cause it's done so well, or they always
Yeah,
seem to
yeah,
play.
yeah.
You know, it's got to have it. It's definite for the set, isn't it?
Needs Fish's twin guitars, though, doesn't it, Craig?
It does. Always loved the fish live version of it, especially when it was the '92 tour. Around about then, that's when they nailed it.
And
Sure,
then
AJ.
we went off set list, Nate, didn't we?
We did. We had the last straw, which seemed to be a last minute decision to play. As ever, brilliant. Martin Joe in the last section, full on Bruce Dickinson.
Yeah.
Really got his own twist on it. And I believe if he's not done it with Rotherham Band, I believe Steve Rotherham's posted somewhere that they're going to give it a crack at some point.
Yeah, I think they should. They should.
You heard it here first.
Mm-hmm.
Nathan says.
I could have dreamt it, but I'm fairly sure I've seen Steve.
No. Let's just start as a rumor. Let's start as a rumor. It's an actual fact. Steve Rotherham has said they're going to play it on this tour.
Yeah, buy your tickets. Don't be disappointed.
And if they don't play it,
blame me.
Send your emails to srothery@marillion.com.
Saying Nathan said.
And then the last song on the main set was Incommunicado. People were definitely dancing for that.
Nice bouncy number to kick
I was
it all
definitely
off.
dancing.
It all.
I was definitely dancing because some bloke grabbed hold of him and made me dance.
Some guy in a red t-shirt.
Absolutely no idea who it was. He forced me to dance.
How many people put their hips out?
You didn't need much encouragement from where I was standing.
I've never seen anybody force you to dance. It's usually the other way around.
And then that was the last one on the main set. It came back on for the encore. Title track of Fugazi.
Which Favorite track off the album. Amazing.
Which is... All right. It was a good version, wasn't it?
Always. They always do a good version of that track.
Yeah. Into Garden Party.
And then, what can you say?
I'm punting.
I thought you were whining.
I am actually.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. In a shit day, I'm having a glass of wine. Taking the podcast up market.
Yeah, too much of that you'll be reclining, definitely.
Yeah.
And last song of the night, Market Square Heroes.
Excellent.
With a bit of Margaret on the end, wasn't it? Bit of Margaret, did we get?
Yeah, quite a bit, actually. Quite a bit of Margaret on the end, I thought.
Too much.
Too much.
Too much?
Yeah.
All in all, pretty good for 30 quid, wasn't it?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And they've already announced that they're playing there next year.
Excellent.
So back to
and they also announced
in the afternoon of the...
Also, John.
What?
They did announce this, I think it was slightly tongue-in-cheek, that they're going to do the whole of Brave. Was it? It was slightly tongue-in-cheek, but they did actually say it. Am I right in saying that?
No pressure, gentlemen,
you
if you listen to this.
You said they're doing Brave. You announced it.
Maybe so.
Actually, I think what we should do is you should do Brave on the kazoo about 2 a.m. in the kebab shop.
We could all do a part each.
Actually, John, I don't know if you're going to include the next tribute band we saw that night. Are you going to include that as well?
Just go for it. From there, we went from a post-gig drink to, what's the rock club
Duffy's.
called?
Duffy's Irish Bar. And as luck would have it, there was a Cure tribute band on there.
There was.
When I moved in, they were just playing 100 Years and Figurehead, I think, and they were just coming off their first set. And then they came back on and played a few of the hits.
Yeah.
And they were good as well.
Do we know what they were called?
Yeah, I've got it written down something. It's something like, well, it's not anything obvious. So I'll have to send you what it is and have to, I don't know, stick it in the notes or something.
It was a good end to the evening, yes.
Yeah, I think Robert Smith let himself go, but that's another story.
Have you seen the real one lately?
I've never seen a Joe Brand fronted your tribute. But
I think you'll find, John, that wasn't the end of the evening, because then we went to the Grand Kebab Shop, and then we all went back to the Premier Inn, where Martin and other bands were all sat, and we had a couple of beers with them. Were you there for that? Were you there by then?
Was I there? I left.
We were there.
Saying,
yeah.
I'm off to bed. We walked back to the Premier Inn, went into the bar with the band while you were in the kebab shop.
We didn't go to bed. I think we hit the hay about 2 a.m, I think, wasn't it?
Oh, God.
Yeah, you, Foxy, and Rich arrived with kebabs and stank the place out, but yeah.
Very good.
And I understand the band by that point were drinking.
Felicity started putting JD into cider.
Cider, was it? Sorry, yeah.
And the thing is, all of our listeners are thinking, yep, this is exactly what happens at the end of Marillion gigs when we go away for the weekends.
Well, it is.
To a man.
It is. So, all in all, I mean, I was in Leicester about 23 hours, but it was a fantastic 23 hours, I have to say.
It's crammed so much in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
It was good to step back into Murillo world on a non-convention year. We got kind of a sample of
I thought this was the official, unofficial convention, or is it the unofficial, official convention? Or whatever it was, I don't know.
I think we get... the turnout for just a tribute band, for people coming to Leicester just for them, I think is really amazing, actually.
Yeah, people travelled a long way.
Yeah, I mean, I did 3 hours. John did about 3 hours, was John?
2.5, yeah.
Well,
we get to do it all again next month. And this time, Daddy Log's coming.
Hey, I hope I'm coming because I still haven't found those tickets yet.
Oh, God.
I'm going to have to... Are they sold out? Because I'm in trouble. I might
Not
even buy them
this
again.
On the podcast.
I might
I'll
even
talk
buy
to you
them
later.
again. Okay.
Is this for the Steve Rothery band?
Yes.
If you're looking for your tickets, we got tickets. I think that's where we booked them from. Because I was the same. I couldn't remember where the bloody hell I booked mine from. So there you go.
Absolutely essential information, listeners. I think you'll find
Absolutely for me, yeah.
But if you haven't got a ticket for the Steve Rothery band, we do recommend that. They're playing Glasgow and they're playing Manchester in June, Friday, Saturday. Cracking set list. We've had a bit of a sneak peek at the set list, been given some information, and it looks amazing. And we will get to see the mighty Martin Jakubski singing again.
Worth the ticket price alone.
Absolutely. Final thoughts on the weekend. We'll let Vicky start.
Oh, no, absolutely brilliant. I've been seeing StillMarillion for over 10 years. I don't know exactly how long, but yeah, they do keep getting better and better. And yeah, just loved it.
Brilliant. Nath?
Exactly what Vicky said. I think I've been seeing StillMarillion with you guys since, 2011-ish. And they just keep getting better and better and better. And I think them moving out into the back catalogue is absolutely the right thing to do. Their takes on some of the songs are excellent and kind of refresh going back to those albums, and you appreciate what we've got.
Yeah. Mark?
Amazing. Like I say, we travel that far to go see a tribute band. A tribute band that doesn't try to be or dress up as, but love the music, and it shines from every performance. And I'd travel again, and I will.
As long as you can find the ticket.
As long as I can find the ticket. At least the accommodation's sorted, isn't it, John?
It is, mate. It is.
We've got the cardboard box booked.
I can house sit if I can't find them.
Barnes, you're allowed to use the word if you need to use the word.
I will use it. I'll sign up for using the word, but I was going to say just how much I enjoyed the Saturday afternoon set. And I know I'm repeating myself in saying it, but it's really good. It'd be lovely if they could squeeze a couple of them songs into their regular set, because I just think they work so well. And also, I thought they just looked really like a proper professional outfit on stage. They all got the right clobber on. I think Stu's really good on the keyboards, and he brings a whole new dynamic to it. And backing vocals as well, he was good on that. And and then obviously the keytar is just.
The keytar when he brings that out, it's a highlight.
But I think we've got to mention Big Mark and Barry on the bass and Big Mark on the drums, because they were stunning as well. But they were absolutely on it all day.
Yeah, it didn't drop a beat.
We even got some vocals from Mark Mitchell as well.
We did. Was that on Market Square?
I can't even remember what it
Was
was.
it Incommunicado?
Incommunicado.
Right,
Usually.
Yeah. A great bunch of lads and fantastic gigs. If you see them after the gig, they'll chat to you as well. They're lovely guys. Brilliant
definitely.
at what they do.
And
Craig,
they're very respectful. They really appreciate everyone coming to see them and pay their money to see them as well.
Yeah. And Craig, you were missed.
Oh, bless.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
You were. Barnes had 17 drinks in your honour.
At least.
But all pink ladies.
On the Friday night.
Yeah, I was just to say, that's just Friday, yeah.
Didn't even mention the karaoke, but that's another story.
So, Vicky, you were telling me that you were talking to Martin over the weekend about how you really got into the sort of fish era stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, Marillion have always been a live band. So every time an album comes out, I don't really get it until I have heard it live. And a lot of the Fish era stuff I hadn't heard live. So when I started going to see StillMarillion, that's when I fell in love with this music. And it's hearing it live that really has helped me, understand it more and just, love it.
Yeah.
The kind of gateway drug, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's because you're a lot younger than some of us, aren't you?
Exactly, yeah.
I'll say it before you do. Where did you first see StillMarillion then? What sort of year was it? Do you remember?
I saw the very last Forgotten Sons gig.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Riselip in something like 2012, I think. I'm not sure exactly, but yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Been a long time then, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. And I've been to many places as well. It's traveled around.
Yeah.
So.
And seen a few drummers in that time.
Yeah, that's true as well.
And three keyboard players as well?
Only two.
Two, okay.
At least it's not as bad as the Marillion revolving drum kit, is it?
No. What is your favourite Fish era album?
Oh, now that's quite tricky, actually. I don't know that I have a favourite. It varies. It does change. I suppose again because I've fallen in love with it more as that live experience where it's all mixed up a bit more. It's not necessarily as an album as on its own. I'd probably say Clutching if I had to, but probably my favourite tracks are maybe from Fugazi. So yeah.
Would you say that you don't really listen to Fish era in the house?
I do actually. I'm more in the car. I don't listen to my music at home.
Is it classed as child abuse? Is it?
It's more my husband doesn't like it.
What does your husband like? What sort of music does he like?
He likes Hawkwind, who's his big band.
Oh well, he's got no excuse then, has
Which
he?
I hate.
Well, it's different, yeah.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you my Hawkwind story from years ago, John?
No.
Me and Ralph went to see them. This must be about 15 or so years ago at the Tyne Theatre and Opera House in Newcastle. And you know how they have like the fire breathing on you when they do the whole things and stuff like that. And the girl who was doing it actually set her own hair on fire. And then there was the keyboard player trying to put her hair out from behind. It was just hilarious.
That's commitment, though, isn't it?
I work in a Burns unit as well.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go.
It all comes around.
Yeah.
In terms of listening to Fish era, I mean, I absolutely love Grendel, and I had never even heard it all the way
ouch.
Really play it. But that is the perfect length for my journey to work.
Is it? Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, Craig, you're not a massive fan of Grendel, are you?
Oh no, it's one of those things. You know how we're saying about Three Boats Down from the Candy, where you don't like the beginning, but you love it after the guitar solo. Grendel's a bit like I'm a bit like that with Grendel. When it starts off, it's like, oh, we're playing bloody Grendel. But when you start getting into it, oh yeah, I remember I don't quite like this.
Yeah. It's funny. We've talked to a few people about the early days, haven't we? And we're about to record an episode with Andrew Wilde, who's written a book about the early neo prog stuff. So from 1981 to 83. So we've talked about it quite a lot recently.
Yeah, and with the guys from Marco's Marillion Museum.
Yeah.
And they're really looking forward to doing a when we actually get round to doing script, they're in there with a crowbar.
Yeah, I think there'll be a pre-script episode featuring Marco's Marillion Museum.
I'll look forward to that.
Yeah,
I can see it. Epic.
Epic, yeah, epic, an epic version. Yeah. Anyway, thanks very much, guys. We're going to say thank you to Nathan.
Bye-bye.
Vicky.
Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Mark.
No star, guys. No star.
Pardon?
That's good night, boys. It's good night.
Thank you, Powder. Barnes?
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, thank you, guys. Well done. Really enjoyed that. Again, fantastic stuff. And a great weekend.
And it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Take care.
And stay alive. Hey.
Thanks for listening to Planet Marzipan Podcast. Please like and subscribe from whichever platform you get your podcasts from. You can contact us at planetmarzipanpodcast@gmail.com and check out Marillion.com, fishmusic.scot or fishmusic.eu.